Peace and blessings, everyone. This is Raisa Ghiwala, the Muslimah divorce coach, and I support and guide divorced Muslim women in healing and opening the door to a new life of serenity, possibility, and abundance with reliance and certainty in Allah's promise. So today we are on day 2 of Ramadan reflections, reliance on Allah during divorce. So how was day 1 for all you guys? Was it insightful? Did it bring up a lot of things for you? Okay, are you ready for day 2? So today I wanted to spell out what is tawakkul, defined as reliance, right? So what does it mean? And the definition of what the essence of it is really is putting in your trust, your faith, and your belief in the power of Allah, and also implementing the means that you have accessible to you, right? And what I mean by that are accessible to you are means that are permissible, right? It's actually, tawakkul is a trust and acceptance that you have in divine will, right? And no one is privy to what that is, right? And none of us as human beings understand it, can explain it, or can control it, right? That's out of our hands. So it's trusting that divine will and wisdom, that Allah knows what is best for us. The Creator knows what is best for His creation. So someone came to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and asked him, so should I tie my camel and rely upon Allah, or should I leave her untied and just rely on Allah? And the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, tie her and then rely on Allah, right? So our Quran and our Sunnah, they advocate applying appropriate means along with the reliance in Allah. So reliance means action and trust, because the only thing we are responsible for that is in our hands, that we have control over, right? Each one of us only has control over ourselves. And the only thing that you can really do for yourself is you're responsible for your intention and your effort, right? And the outcome is not in our hands. It's in none of our hands, right? And sometimes we can become so attached to an outcome that we are stuck on it, right? So when we remember that intention and effort is all that you're responsible for, and yes, have a vision, have a dream, have goals that you're working towards, but you don't know how things are going to evolve, right? So focus on the intention and the effort, and put everything and your energy into there, right? So really what this is telling us is that you do your part, right? And that means taking personal responsibility. And each one of us has personal responsibility in our life, in all areas of our life. It's very easy to say that it's someone else's fault, that he made me feel this way, she made me get angry, right? Taking responsibility for everything, that means our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, all of that, right? And then remembering that whatever we're focused on, whatever we're trying to achieve, the real essence of that is, look, whatever goal you have or whatever dream or vision you have that you want to achieve, it's not going to come from your efforts. Yes, that's part of the formula, but it will only come from Allah's will. So if Allah wills it, wants it, deems it for you, it will happen without a shadow of a doubt, in the right time, in the right place. It will never be late. So really just to remember that your intention and your efforts is really what matters, because that is what will help you move forward. And sometimes, you know, direction changes and the path becomes clear that this is not my directions, but maybe this is the direction I need to go into. That's why being stuck and attached to an outcome is not necessarily the end goal, right? So what's the formula? The formula really is doing your part, taking personal responsibility, and trusting that Allah is going to guide you and lead you in the direction you need to go to, that is going to be beneficial and best for you, right? We're also told, I can't remember whether it was in the Quran or a hadith, but that Allah provides sustenance as He provides for the birds, right? How they go out in the morning with their empty stomachs and then they come back in the evening with full stomachs. So what are they doing? They're actually going out and flying and exploring and looking and searching. They're doing their work, but Allah's taking care of their sustenance. And just like for us, we have to make the effort. We have to go to work. We have to, clean our homes, do our laundry, drive our kids to school, right? Allah's not going to come here and vacuum your house and, buy your groceries, right? All of that instantaneous stuff is reserved for Jannah. You think it and it will appear in front of you. Here we have to work, to get to our end goal, which is Jannah. We have to work to get there. And that means that we just do our best. That means we do what's in our capacity, our capability, and we do our best, right? And that really reminded me, when I was going through my divorce, was that I was in denial and shock and resistance in the beginning, because I didn't think that that was right for me or the best way to go. And I was at a point where I couldn't just let go, right? Yes, of course, I was making lots of dua for Allah to guide me and support me and to help me and to fix this and to make it work. All of the duas that I was making out of desperation, right? But on the other hand, I also made sure that I did everything in my power to make sure that I didn't have any regrets, that I wasn't just going along with the situation because that's what I used to do. I used to just go along to get along, to not speak up or to speak my truth, or to say what I really wanted, because that's who I was. That's what I knew, that it wasn't about me or what I wanted, it was about what everybody else wanted. And so what I did was that I made sure that I was able to have a voice in this situation, or I reached out to someone that could help me. And you know what? Actually, those people came into my life to help me from Allah. So I was able to communicate that I made sure that I did everything in my capability that was possible, that I left no stone unturned. So I could say to myself with that sense of satisfaction and no regret that I did everything I could in my power and my capacity, and there was no lack of effort on my part. And knowing when you don't have any regrets and when you know with satisfaction that you did the best that you could, then you can move forward in acceptance in whatever that is, And especially in divorce, whether it was mutual or one-sided, there still has to be a level of acceptance. And different people, depending on where they are at, are going to be in a different place in terms of when that acceptance finally comes, right? And to start that process, I needed to make sure that I wasn't going to have any regrets. So even though I was devastated and I cried for like days and weeks and months, I still had to take action, right? I still had to take action to do what I needed to do so I wouldn't live with regret, because I can't go back. We can never go back to our past and change things. In the moment, right here, right now, is when you have the opportunity to decide what you're going to do, because you can never go back. So nobody wants to live with regret, right? It's the worst thing that can hurt you. And then at that point, when I was ready for acceptance and I was ready to start that process of healing and grieving my loss and moving forward, I could accept that, it was the best outcome and it was given to me by Allah, right? Even though it was not what I decided, it was what Allah wanted and that was best for me. I was confused, but I knew that being in that relationship wasn't good for me. From just being in a codependent relationship wasn't good for me. So another example was really, after my divorce, and I was going through the process of healing and moving forward, having that tawakkul and that reliance really helped me to focus on my relationship with Allah and strengthen that in terms of my prayers, my belief in Him, knowing that He has my back, and that reliance. And you know, a lot of the resources started coming into my life for what I asked for, what I needed. But at the same time, I went forward in seeking out mentors, seeking out coaches and therapists and whoever I needed to help me. I didn't hesitate in helping myself, and that's where the personal responsibility comes in, right? So I was taking personal responsibility for where I was in my life, how to move forward, and not allowing my circumstances define me, but who do I want to be and how do I get there? And leaving the responsibility for my spouse to him. That's not for me to carry. And I was able to get all that out from investing in myself, right? Of course, you're still making dua along this way, but you're still taking action and seeing where that path leads you, right? And that is both parts of the formula. Taking the action and relying and trusting that whatever the outcome is, it's okay, right? So today's reflection is really, where are you struggling in this formula, right? We can get stuck in, I'm doing everything that I possibly can. I don't know what else to do, but I don't know like sometimes you just get so frustrated, you just give up your hands, right? You throw your hands up and you say, I give up, right? And it's just not working. You get frustrated, you bang your head against the wall, right? And you're pushing against the slammed door that's shut. So how do you know when to stop resisting? How do you know when to pivot? How do you know when to sit quietly, to do nothing, to wait for guidance and reliance and direction and clarity? And what does that symbolize for you, right? Because outcome is not an indicator of your value, of your self-worth. Trusting and reliance, tawakkul, really means that you can't be attached to the outcome, because that is what hurts, that is what breaks, you know, hearts, and that is what breaks our spirit. But when we trust and we know whatever outcome comes, you did your best and it is best for you, because you're relying on Allah's wisdom to know what is best for you. And think about also later on down the line, you'll say, oh yeah, I'm so glad that happened. I'm so glad I didn't get accepted to that college, or I didn't marry that person. You know, you never know. So I want you to go to the Facebook group. If you're not there already, go to the Divorced Muslima Network. I'm going to post the link below, and sign up if you're not already signed up, and post your reflections from this video. What did you take away from it? You know, where are you struggling in the formula, and what can you add to it? Can't wait to read your comments, and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care. Peace and blessings.